Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's look I'm gonna do brown and gold eyes with dewy look skin and then big fluffy brows that are in at the moment because I just love that look. I did have them laminated at one point, but obviously can't get them done at the moment because of lockdown. So yeah, I will crack on with the look now. I'm going to prime my skin with the Henriksen Banana Primer. So it's the vitamin C cream that I usually use, and it's so good for glowing and brightening up the face. So I love the primer as well because you do get a little bit of like flecks of glitter in that. So yeah, that really brings like the dewy look together. Don't know if you can see, I look a bit more dewier. Probably I'm a little bit more tanned as well because England's finally got some sun, so my freckles are out. The tan is coming on a little bit. I put a bit of fox tan on to hopefully accelerate that tan a bit more because I'm so pale. Like, I'm just so pasty. Wish I would be naturally tanned, but I'm not blessed with that, you know. Next, I'm going to use the Iconic Illuminator. So I'm going to look a bit crazy, but it really brings that extra dewiness together. So probably will look like the Tin Man off A Wizard of Oz, but it does make it all better. I am actually running low on this, so I need to invest in some more. If you can see what I mean by the craziness. So it looks super shiny. Obviously we're going to cover this up with foundation, so I'll look a bit more less Tin Man-ish. So I'm going to go in with the Giorgio Armani foundation. You can mix the illuminator in with your foundation as well, but I find it's a lot better when it's underneath the foundation than mixed in. I just find you get that extra glow compared to it being mixed in. But yeah, it's trial and error really, whatever works best for your skin, because I've got kind of combination skin, like around my nose and my chin gets really dry, and then the rest of my skin's pretty average. I'm just using my Juno sponge as well, so it's the microfiber one that I mentioned in the other one, so it's great. It doesn't soak up half as much foundation as a usual sponge would, and it really buffs out the edges. No one wants streaky foundation. This is more of my summer foundation, so you can tell it'll be a bit dark for me at the moment. It's okay when you've got a tan though, so always good to have. Next I'm just going to brush my eyebrows up, just with a clean brush, no product on it, just to get the excess foundation out of it. A bit more fluffed up. Then with a little bit of eyelash glue or glitter glue, I just run it through my brows so that they stick up a bit better than they would without the glue, and they actually set there, so rather than them flapping about. So if you can see, they'll set there. I'll do that with both of my eyebrows. So that's them both set. I'll leave them a couple of minutes to set. Have some espresso martini. Just a tinned one. Can't go set bars for them, so I need to have my daily dose. Now they've set, I'm just going to run my Benefit brow gel to them to give them a bit more colour and make them stand out a little bit more. Because I do like bold brows. It's a bit of a statement look. So as you can see, they're a little bit darker. Just add a little bit more. Yeah, I'm happy with how they've turned out. It's a nice and bushy look. I just think the bushy brow's so in at the moment, and I do prefer it to the HD brow look. Like, I just think it looks way more natural, and it just structures your face much better than it would if you've got your perfect brows. And if you did want them a bit darker, you can put a bit of dip brow underneath your eyebrow and just out underline it and then blend that in with the gel, and then it would give it a bit more of a shape and you'd get a bit darker colour as well. So that's them done there. So now I'm just going to use the Urban Decay eye primer. I normally use the P. Louise one, but that's a bit more of a matte look one, but it doesn't matter too much on your eyes. You don't want shiny eyes, but this is just for a quicker look. But the P. Louise one is absolutely amazing. So I'll just blend them out. I never actually used to use eyeshadow, well, base, and then I realised how much of a difference it does make. Like, the colours really do pop and they just stay on for hours without creasing. I'm going to use the Colour Rain Queen of Hearts palettes. It's an oldie but absolute goldie. I love it. The pigment is insane and it just blends so easy. So I'm going to start by pressing the pigment onto my eye. It will look a bit insane at first, but we're going to blend it. Now it's all nicely pressed on there, we'll blend it out. I'm going to use my BO4 Real Techniques brush for the blend. I'm just going to dip it into a bit of a royal. Still got the darker pigment and then you've still got a nice blend, and then we'll just blend out a little bit more. My Zoeva 228 brush, I'm going to go back into Duchess and just build it back up a little bit in the centre, just so it darkens up the look a little bit. And this brush is a lot more fluffier, so it'll do the blending while you're putting the shade on, so it's not going to be a chunky shade. I hate unblended eyeshadow. It used to always do my head in, and it still does. As you can see, it's a bit more darkened up, and then I just do need to do a little bit more blending again to make that perfect transition. With my Smashbox brush, I'm going to go underneath the eye. As I said in my last video, it doesn't have a name on it, and if you don't see my last video, the link is below. So I'm going to use Duchess and Royal Prodigy just underneath my eye to bring it all together. I'm just going to get Duchess again, dip into it and then bring it round so it's a bit darker towards the edge. Then I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques brush and just buff it out again. So it's got a bit of a blown out look to it rather than sharp edges. So now for my eyelid, I'm going to use my brush and then just wet it slightly so it picks up a bit more pigment. Then I'm going to go in with Your Majesty. This gold really does pop on the eye, and when I wear it I always get loads of compliments on the colour. So I really would recommend, if you do love your classic eye looks, this palette is amazing. And you've got lilacs if you do want like a little colour pop in it, because usually I do add a little colour pop, but I'll keep it to the classics today. So that's with the gold. I just need to blend it in again as I do, so it's not any harsh edges. And with my 228 brush, I'm just going to buff around the edges to make sure there is no harsh edges left. Then I'm just going to go in with Melon from MAC. That'll just really make my eye pop. When you get powdered pigment, pure pigment, it really brings the look together, and the colours are always insane. Like when you get pure pigments, it's just, you can't get the same look in the pan. Like, and I'm just going to run a little bit of Melon underneath my eye so it all brings the look together. So as you can see, it's underneath my eye, and then I'm going to get my Real Techniques brush again and just do a little bit of a blend so that it's not any harsh edges. So that's almost finished. I just need to put some highlighter on my brow bone and in the pop. I'm going to go in my Fenty Trophy Wife. I'm going to do that in the pop of my eye and just underneath my brow bone. So I don't know if you see, it can ties the look way more in together. Next I want to make it slightly different, so I'm going to go for a colour pop in my waterline. I'm actually using a Jeffree Star liquid lip as they're safe to use with the eyes. So this shade is Strawberry for a pink look pop. Just going to get a little bit on my angled brush. You don't need loads because with it being on your waterline it's not a huge area. And then I'll just press it on. Yeah, that looks so much better because it's got a little bit of a colour pop to it. I think I'm just used to wearing colourful eyes, so I do prefer it with a bit of a pop and a bit of a different colour. So I'll put my lashes on, do my other eye, and be back in a second. I'm back, hopefully looking a bit more glam with the eyelashes on. So now I'm just going to disguise all of my double chins and give me some cheekbones. So I'm going to start with the Fenty contour stick. I'm not actually putting any concealer on today because it's quite a matte concealer I've got and I want to keep the glowy look that I aimed for. And I feel like if I put the concealer on it'd make me quite cakey and it would mattify my face, which I'm not wanting at the moment. Blend it out so it doesn't have that straight line look. I'm gonna put a bit. Now I'm going to use the Illamasqua contour palette. I'm just going to use the Real Techniques brush for my forehead. I'm just going to dab that on there. I used to love this. I still love it. And I started using the Hula Beauty one. And that's just got more of like a caramel glow for when I've got more of a tan. Whereas this one's really good for when I'm a bit paler, which is 90% of the time. I'm going to use the Illamasqua palette again, just to contour over my cheekbones where I've just used the Fenty matte sticks. Which brings a little bit more depth to it. I'm going to do the same on my double chin. Now I'm going to lightly powder my face just on the bits that get a bit oily, as I don't want to take away the glowy look. This is quite a light powder as well, which is really good because I usually use the Laura Mercier one, but that's quite a heavy powder, so I don't want to use that one today. I'm going to use the Doll Beauty highlighter. So I'm going to use quite a dense brush because I want quite an intense glow. And yeah, as you can see, this is really bright highlighter. If you want that proper popping glow, then definitely use the Doll Beauty one. I absolutely love it. Just applying it to my nose as well. You see, it gives you that really dewy look, which everyone loves. Next, I'm going to use MAC Petal Power Blush, so just to bring a bit of rosiness to the face. Just going to apply that to the apples of my cheek. So my cheek's looking a bit more rosier. So I'm going to go in the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lip. I'll just apply that to my lips now. I do love liquid lips because you don't have to faff around with doing a lip liner. So it's quite a dark eye, dark lip look. And finally, I'm going to use the Morph setting spray. It's amazing. It's so fine. Whereas quite a lot of them are quite lumpy, which I'm not too keen on because you get like splats everywhere and it can ruin your makeup a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed this look and I'll show you the final results now.
Once in a while, it was a part of a silly joke. Well, isn't fun, it can stand no more. Don't lie to me, don't lie to me. About your chance, but fall in love. What makes you happy, what makes you drown. What you want, what makes you bad. And give me a chance to make things right. Just a